What is up? Good morning, everybody. We are back at it again today with some more Is It Creativity? We have a few changes from our last list. Let's go ahead and jump into what those changes are real quick. We are we added one Valakut Awakening for the Hall of the Storm Giants. We talked about that yesterday. Hall wasn't feeling super great, so we went ahead and added a Valakut Awakening. I want to try this. It's nice. It can put Gearhulks back into our deck if we've drawn all of them and want to creativity into them. And just a way to get rid of cards that are bad in any matchup. It's just a one of, but I wanted to test this out today. We are on the fourth pathway over the Sulphur Falls. Not a huge change, but just something to note. And we are going down one dig through time for one Sublime Epiphany. I was looking through just some expensive instance and remembered that this card existed and figured we might as well try it. It has some crazy upside in this deck. We can copy Torrential Gearhulks and yeah, set of pathways. Pathway is really good in this deck because the triple red for creativity can be a little bit expensive. Yeah, Sublime Epiphany, it can have some crazy highs. It's also a 6-drop. We'll see if it gets stuck in our hand at all. Notably, making a token copy of Torrential Gearhulk is really cool. We can bounce a Gearhulk, make a copy of Gearhulk to go crazy. It's a super high upside card. 3 steps ahead. Do I have... Yeah, 3 steps... We could try a 3 steps ahead today. Create a token, draw 2, discard 2. So, at worst, it's a cancel. It slots nicely in the 3-drop slot. Draw 2, discard 2. Yeah, we can make a copy of Gearhulk. Do we want to... Let's cut the one dig through time for one copy of 3 steps ahead. Just to try it out. Good suggestion. I think this fits. It's also nice. It's not card disadvantage. And a few changes to the sideboard. I was playing again yesterday, and there are so many Lotus Field decks. And there's the standard Scapeshift versions, and I've been seeing a lot of the Emergent Ultimatum Hidden Stirrings combo versions. So we're on 3 Alpine Moons. There's been a lot of Lotus Field. I know as soon as we throw the Alpine Moons into our sideboard, we're going to run into no Lotus Field, but if we see him, Yeah, I got destroyed by Lotus and Golgari all afternoon. I've been seeing so much Lotus Field. The deck is... It doesn't care about a lot of interaction, but Alpine Moon does slow him down quite a bit. Also running some Aether Gusts. I wanted something that was a little bit better against Golgari. We were running Annuls before, and Annul is nice that it hits the... Wow, why am I blanking on the name? The Unholy Annex, but this answering everything else and being an actual answer instead of just a tempo play, I wanted to try out some Aether Gusts today. I still like the Golgari matchup. The capstone is really good there. But other than that, yeah, the Fire Magic's the same. Still some Broadside Barrages. This card continues to play well. Yeah, let's hop into some matches. Badfish, you said you play some blue-white. Oh, wow, we're against... All right, we're against... Oh, no, Yorion, probably 5-color. Riveteer's Outlook. Is this like budget 5-color Niv? Alright, play a basic mountain, trick them into thinking we're mono red. Cabaret, yeah, is this... Are we seeing the budget on Arena 5-color Niv to Light? That's what it's looking like right now. Change the equation, very good against this deck. We will snap counter and up the beanstalk here. Maze Mine Tome. Sure, we'll counter that. All right, we draw a Divide by Zero. Let's play this pathway on blue for 3 steps ahead, and we'll play this next one on red. So we have triple red. Nissa. Okay. Let's Divide by Zero for the tempo. Discard this Magma Opus. And opponent did have another land. All right, play this pathway on red and pass the turn again. All right, opponent recasts Nissa. I really want to fire off a Stern Lesson here, but I think we need to counter this. So counter this Nissa. Our opponent has a Fabled Passage. We draw the Creativity. That's our plan for next turn. Just pass again. Not really a bad matchup. Thoughtseize helps them a loss, but rest in peace as a 3-of for me. I run 2 Grafdigger's Cage on top of them. Okay, yeah, that... What is going on? They have a Spelunking? I think we just let this resolve. Oh yeah, White March is super good too. All right, they don't have a land to put into play. Cast a Stern Lesson. Kind of want to just find a Gearhulk here. We don't find a Gearhulk. Let's go second Stern Lesson into the graveyard and just cast this Deduce. All right, we draw a land. All right, play this Stormcarved Coast, and do we want 2 Gearhulks or 1 Gearhulk? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can leave up. We can't leave up 3 steps ahead. If this is some kind of combo deck and we just lose, so be it. We're gonna get 2 Gearhulks. And all right, we get 2 Gearhulks. Get a Magma Opus and a Divide by Zero. Go Divide by Zero, put the Spelunking back into their hand. And with the Learn, let's just grab Capstone. And Magma Opus, do 4 to them. Tap, tap. Make an Elemental. I use Portable Holes over Seam Rip because it's an artifact. They both hit anything that's 2 or less. What's the thought process with Portable Hole over Steam Rip there? All right, opponent has another Fabled Passage. Okay, so there are at least 4 colors. All right, they have a Portable Hole for our Elemental. We're fine with that. They play a Spelunking. They draw. Do they have a land to put into play? They do not. All right, we should just have this one pretty wrapped up here. We draw another Torrential Gearhulk. And we'll just pass the turn, leave up our interaction. Opponent cracks this Fabled Passage. Gets a Forest. Play another Courtyard. They go to 9. I had the playset of holes back from when I originally made the deck. Yeah. That is fair. All right. Okay, so this is some kind of combo deck. Wow, 3 steps ahead, looking super good here. Counter Lumara. Make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. Torrential Gearhulk. A Stern Lesson. Let's go. Huge shout out to 3 Steps Ahead. Or 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. All right, get in with our army of Torrential Gearhulks. Oh, Back to Nature kills all enchantments for 2 mana. Okay, so it does get around that. All right, we are against... I have no idea what our opponent's on. They had Lumra, but no other cards that looked like a combo. So let's go Aether Gusts in. We're going to leave the Alpine Moons in the sideboard until we actually see something that's not a basic. Fiery Impulses out. Run it like that. We could go one last Fiery Impulse for a broadside. I don't know, they just didn't play anything. Sure. Bad for Business, number 2 Ominous Seas in my main deck and 2 Typhoons. You know, I actually like that as a way to actually win the game. As much as blue-white control is fun to play, I don't know if I could consistently grind the like super long matches that deck always has on Arena. Every time I play against blue-white and it's a competitive match, it's like 45 minutes for 3 games because a lot of them are just not running anything that actually wins. So I do like that thought of having... Yeah, and I think those are like the best ways of building blue-white. Because you can run into... Alright, they have a Spelunking. Let's just use Aether Gust on that. I have no idea what our opponent's doing here. We are just going to 3 steps ahead Spelunking this turn, I think. I'd love to get a Stern Lesson down, but this card's scary. Oh, is our opponent just passing? All right, opponent's just passing. We do get to get down this Stern Lesson. Let's discard Sokenzon. Man, all these cards are so good. Yeah, we'll discard Sokenzon. We should find another land. No way. We get a 2... Man, I love when that happens. We get a 2-for-1 from Leyline Binding on our token. All right, counter this Maze Mind Tome, and then we can just deduce. All right, yeah, see, we're good to go on lands here. Pass back to them. Probably Stern Lesson, discard Vibrant Outburst. So this is 5 mana for counter target spell, draw 2, discard 2. Wow. 3 steps ahead, looking just great. All right, we have a clue. Just going to pass again. We can... All right, opponent just puts Yorion into their hand. Cast this Stern Lesson. Discard. We're good on lands now. Discard these lands. And sure, we'll crack a clue. We're just looking for Magma Opus at this point. We're under, like, no threat from them. All right, pass the turn. Just keep firing off our card advantage. Cast this Deduce first before we discard a card. All right, we find an Aether Gust. Cast a Stern Lesson. All right, nice. We find a creativity. Just discard a Vibrant Outburst. And sure, we'll draw a card off this clue. We're in such a good position right now. Wow, if we're halfway through our deck and we found no Gearhulks, no Magma Opuses. Opponent finds their 6th land and just passes. Okay. Man, we just have we have no good targets for this Vibrant Outburst. Sure. We'll just untap. Play a land, pass. We can use this Valakut Awakening to get rid of Vibrant Outburst. Alright, cast this Valakut Awakening. Let's go Vibrant Outburst and Indomitable Creativity back. We're just on full find Gearhulk and attack with some Gearhulks. Alright, play Otawara and start Magma Opusing them. Wandering Emperor and Blue Teferi with my enchantments make people auto-scoop and combo. The take an extra turn Teferi. Alright, opponent finds another Spelunking. Let's just Aether Gust this. And we still have enough for Magma Opus. Alright, they go Spelunking to the bottom. Alright, cast Magma Opus. 4 to them. Tap Forest and Plains. Opponent concedes. Okay. All right, this hand is questionable. All right, against Golgari, it's fine. Play this Verge. Oh, they have a Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Sure. I've been seeing a lot more Deep Cavern Bats in deck lists lately. I'm not convinced on this card because you just have situations like this where you like look at your opponent's hand and you're just like, oh no. And it's 2-mana. Freebooter is better. Oh, but this can take creatures. Alright, opponent has Gissa Sunslayer. Alright, this is a little bit annoying. So we'll go to our turn. Alright, nice. We find a Deduce. That could turn on this Fiery Impulse. So let's go River Glide Pathway on blue. Yeah, because we'll have triple red from Sokenzan. And before they go to attacks, we will go kill Deep Cavern Bat, tap Glissa. Alright, so we're in combat, go 3 damage to Deep Cavern Bat, tap Glissa. And then next turn we can cast this Deduce to get second instant in the graveyard to kill Glissa. Alright, opponent, what's their follow-up here? Nature's Rhythm for 2. Is this another Deep Cavern Bat? Alright, a Badger Mole Cub. Alright, don't love that. Alright, we'll draw. Alright, we find another Deduce. Place Sokenzan. And yeah, this turn we will just be casting a Deduce, getting second instant or sorcery in the graveyard, and then going after Glissa. Alright, opponent has a tapped Overgrown Tomb and a Deep Cavern Bat. We're pretty insulated against this, though. So, in response, cast Deduce. Would love to find a second Fiery Impulse. We don't find second Fiery Impulse. Kill Glissa. And they're going to see that we have double creativity. So next turn we can get a Torrential Gearhulk back. All right, we take 2. So it looks like they're leaving up Abrupt Decay. This is a pretty obvious Abrupt Decay leave up. So with the pretty face-up Abrupt Decay, let's just pass again. We're 1 turn away from just hard casting these Torrential Gearhulks, and we're under no pressure from them. Doesn't Freebooter have Flash? No, it doesn't have Flash, but it had Flash with Aether Vial. And so that's why you might be like remembering your humans opponents like flashing it in your upkeep off the vial. All right, opponent has a fight rigging. All right, we do not find a counterspell for this, so they get to rig the fight. They are pretty far away from a creature with 7 power. Do they have the Trudge to go with it? Doesn't look like it. So we have counter on Deep Cavern Bat here. We're taking 5. Yep, opponent is super clearly leaving up an Abrupt Decay. But let's just go for card advantage here. We're just going to start hard casting these Torrential Gearhulks. Wow. All right, we are on Torrential Gearhulk Tribal. Play this on blue and pass the turn. Our first Gearhulks are just going to remove their stuff. All right, they have the Trudge. So we have to counter this and take another 5. Yep, so counter the Trudge here to stop the fight rigging. All right, opponent makes 2 mana, makes 3 mana, 4 mana. If I meant, do they have a Great Henge? Great Henge would be... They don't have enough mana for Great Henge. It would still be 9 mana. No, 7. Okay, Nature's Rhythm for 1 to get a Trudge. Okay, so we need to draw into a counterspell here. We don't. We just find a Magma Opus. All right. Opponent gets a Trudge, and opponent can put a counter on the Trudge. What do they have on the fight rigging? Opponent has an Emrakul the Promised End. Okay, well, that's really bad. We take 2. I think we leave this Magma Opus in our hand. All right. Opponent, they can cast a Gearhulk. I don't know how we beat the 11 or the 13/13 flyer. We don't have... Oh, we can Indomitable Creativity it away. All right, opponent creativities for 0. Oh, X equals 3 on all their stuff. No, they put it back. All right, they Indomitable Creativity, they cancel it. I really want to see them creativity their stuff and flip into nothing. All right, opponent casts a Torrential Gearhulk, and they flash back a Vibrant Outburst to do 3 damage to us. All right, they do 3 damage to our face. We draw Change the Equation. So we discard Magma Opus. Creativity, no, so we have to cast Indomitable Creativity on Emrakul this turn. So we discard. Ah, we don't have. We didn't draw a land. If we drew a land, we could have. So we discard this. We have 4 mana left over. That's not enough to. Oh no, it is. So we discard this Magma Opus. Creativity X equals 2 on Emrakul and our own Gearhulk. Flashback Magma Opus, kill their stuff. What do they get? I don't know what one say. What is this card? When this enters, if it was kicked, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. All right, so this doesn't do anything. So we will go 2 to the Deep Cavern Bat. 1, 1. Doesn't matter what we tap. All right, we use a timeout. Make an elemental. All right, we draw a land. They get their earthbended thing back. All right, and we pass. Opponent has another fight rigging. Do they find a second Emrakul? They do get to get this fight rigging off. All right. Opponent goes counter on the Badgermole Cub. What do they find off the fight rigging? They find a Craterhoof Behemoth, and that has trample. So we go double block here, go to 1. They have a way to kill us. Double block here, go to 1. Okay. We find a 3 steps ahead. We don't have another Magma Opus. I think we're passing the turn here, leaving up counter spells. And another Gearhulk. Indomitable Creativity is pretty useless right now. We're out of Gearhulks. All right, opponent has a 3rd fight rigging. We need to Gearhulk to counter this because if not, this lets us block the Badgermole Cub. So Gearhulk for change the equation. What's their last card? All right, they fight rigging the Badgermole Cub. Badgermole Cub is a 6/6, but we can double block. Okay. We survive another turn. Oh man, we need another Magma Opus. And we are just not finding it. I think we're passing the turn again. We have one more turn until this Trudge goes away. So pass the turn again. This goes to 8. So we can still block it. No attacks. Pass the turn. Next turn, this Trudge comes back. All right, opponent finds the Great Henge. Why can't I counter this with change the equation? Is this not a green spell? Oh, is this a colorless spell? That's crazy. Okay. So we go 3 steps ahead. Let's go create a copy of Gearhulk, draw 2, discard 2. We can do all 3 modes. Go counter target spell. Create a copy. Oh no, we can only do... Yeah, so create a copy. Create a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. Counter the Great Henge. Flashback a Deduce. Well, that land doesn't do anything. What's our opponent's last card? I think it's an Abrupt Decay. All right, they Earthbend 2. That is fine. They go to combat. If they target this pathway, we will kill it. Yeah. Kill this pathway. Doesn't really matter. They can just Earthbend again. Badgermole Cub is a 7/7. We need... Man, would love to find one of our Divide by Zeros. Okay. This turn, we can't attack yet. This Badgermole Cub is super big. I think we have to start with a Stern Lesson. No. Okay, so we go Steam Vents tapped and pass again. Leave up another Gearhulk. They get... The Trudge can attack this next turn. We're out of Gearhulks, right? Yeah, so... Or no, we have one. Is there one exiled? No. Man, where are our Magma Opuses? No attacks. Neither of these have Trample. Opponent is thinking. Yeah, we need Magma Opus. We need Sublime Epiphany. Even a Divide by Zero here to return Trudge or Badgermole Cub to their hand. We're pretty insulated with these Change the Equations. All right, Leyline Weaver, we don't need to counter. Just a 2/2. And are they Earthbending 2? They're going for the Earthbend 2 onto Pathway. Let's see what they target here with the Fight Rigging. They target Trudge and Badgermole Cub. All right. We need a Stern Lesson. Oh, man. Okay. Just no lands ever. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's way bigger than 6. We don't need another creativity. Oh my gosh. All right, well, we did find an Otawara. See how they attack here. They attack with the Trudge. Are we missing something here? This doesn't have any keywords. No. All right, go to blocks. We just double block here. They can kill one of our creatures. So we can triple block to avoid getting blown out by a removal spell. All right, they kill the... Oh, okay, they kill the Gearhulk. And are we Otawara-ing or are we drawing cards? I think we're drawing cards. At some point, we'll surely find... Okay, we find Sublime Epiphany. This can return Badgermole to their hand. Yeah, counter target, activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent. So this can return the Badgermole Cub. We create a copy of Torrential Gearhulk and draw a card. All right. No attacks. Pass the turn one more time. See if they cast a spell here to get the counter target spell mode on this. They cast a Badgermole. So we counter this Badgermole Cub, return this one, and then we can change the equation it on the way down. And make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk, flashback a removal spell. All right. So we want counter target spell, return target non-land permanent, make a copy. We will return 8 power Badgermole Cub, make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk, draw a card. All right, we will get a Torrential Gearhulk. We will We're going to leave Sublime Epiphany. Let's just go with a removal spell on the Leyline Weaver. We want to leave this Sublime Epiphany for this next Gearhulk. All right, opponent recast Badgermole Cub. We will change the equation. All right, opponent is down to a pathway. They can put 2 counters on it. It's up to 4. They don't attack. Draw a card. Okay, we find a Magma Opus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 mana. We are now at the get in. Leave back 1 Gearhulk. Get in for 9. Pass the turn. We played a land this turn. Let's stop in their upkeep. So we can Magma Opus, and this leaves up a change the equation. Sure. We use Magma Opus, we kill their land, it comes back tapped. We tap 2 of their lands, they have 3 mana for turn. Magma Opus, 4 damage there. Tap their 2 black sources. Find another Magma Opus. This goes back in their hand. We're leaving up a change the equation. Opponent goes to their main phase. All right, they have a Badgermole Cub. We will change the equation, Badgermole Cub. Do we have lethal? No way. 5, 10, 18. Go to combat. Attack. No way. Let's go at 1. What a crazy game. Through Emrakul the Promised End off of Fight Rigging. Let's go. What a match. Oh my god. That was crazy. What a game. Whew. Okay. That was just game 1. Aether Gust in. I was on your side and I feel cheated for. I don't know how we pulled that off. That was one of the crazier games that I've won in a long time. All right, sideboarding. Aether Gust seems crazy good in this matchup. Fire Magic seems all right. Let's look at our cuts first. Vibrant Outburst a little bit slow against them. It's good against specifically Badgermole Cub, but against the rest of their deck, it's a little bit mid. So we can trim 1. Because we're bringing in the Fiery Impulses, we can because we're bringing in the Fire Magics, we can trim some of these Fiery Impulses. And yeah, maybe trim 1 more Vibrant Outburst and bring in 1 Fire Magic. Are we going down? We could go down to the 3 steps ahead. What's better, a 3 steps ahead or another Fire Magic? Probably 3 steps ahead. It's close. We have a lot of cards that are good against green spells in this deck, so. Oh man, how many Torrential Gearhulks did we copy that game to? All right. We have both our Fiery Impulses, Divide by 0, Magma Opus. We'll keep this. Our mana situation's a little bit awkward, but That's how Pioneer mana situations go. All right, opponent has a Thoughtseize. Got to make, yeah, one off the 3 steps ahead, one off the Sublime up. Yeah, this is just a Torrential Gearhulk copy deck. And I'm here for it. I love Torrential Gearhulk. Our opponent has a Leyline Walker. We will just kill that. And we draw another Divide by 0. Play this mountain. They didn't know about this mountain, but that's right. Our opponent has another Leyline Weaver, and they're passing, so we will kill another Leyline Weaver. And we draw Stormcarved Coast. That's why he's in the board. Oh yeah, because if you're running 3 steps ahead in the blue-white list, you can do what we just did too. All right, we draw this Divide by 0. Let's just Divide by 0 the Badgermole Cub and get Abandon Attachments. Yeah, let's grab an Abandon Attachments. We can discard either Magma Opus to it or 3 steps to get a veto. To get Dovin's Veto? All right, opponent recast the Badgermole Cub. We'll cast Deduce. Oh, yeah, I see, like draw into it. Okay. And they animate Blooming Marsh. Do they have another Badgermole? All right, they have second Badgermole Cub. Sure. End step lets Abandon Attachments this Magma Opus. Oh, for counter, yeah. And, okay, nice. We draw Creativity. And as we learned yesterday, just slamming Creativity when we have the opportunity to just feels pretty right. Yeah, I wish we had a second Gearhulk to get, but we'll go get Torrential Gearhulk, Flashback Opus, kill the 2 Badgermole Cubs, tap their lands for fun, make an Elemental. All right, we do need to dodge, like, Trudge into Fight Rigging this turn. All right, they just have another Leyline Weaver. That's beatable. All right, they have the Trudge. Oh, wow. Very timely change the equation off the top. And let's just start jamming. Get in for 9. Put them to 7 and pass a turn. We have second Gearhulk up, and we have a change the equation for a Fight Rigging. Yep. Change the equation. Opponent concedes. All right, we have Double Verge. We have the rest of the combo, though. We're going to keep this. All right, another Blooming Marsh Thoughtseize deck. With this hand, the absolute worst case scenario, we can discard Magma Opus for a treasure to make blue mana. I want to see it pop off. Seen all the turtles smack me. Well, we did see it pop off in game number 1. Okay, nice. We draw Steam Vents. Play the Steam Vents untapped. Now our mana situation's solved. We are against Greasefang. All right, another Thoughtseize. Luckily, we have 2 answers to Greasefang in this hand. Opponent takes one of our answers to Greasefang. And are they just Professor of Symbiologying? All right. Opponent's impending. We'll make a clue. Play this Verge, pass a turn. Opponent has a cash grab. Do they find a Grease Fang? They find a Chariot, and they can bring the Chariot back, or they can bring a land back. All right, they get the Chariot. I don't love that. We have a pretty hard time answering the Chariot. All right, oh, wow, dude. People are obsessed with doing this. Like, going after our clues and opening themselves up for, like, just, like, on board 2-for-1s. All right, opponent gets a Boseiju, so they can Chariot next turn. Oh, they don't play the Boseiju? What are they doing? All right, let's go Steam Vents untapped, pass a turn. We're going to Vibrant Outburst if they go for the combo. All right, they're getting another land and doming us for 2. That's fine. Third Thoughtseize in the graveyard, notably. So we should be pretty safe from hand hate. All right, they get a Godless Shrine. They play Godless Shrine tapped. Overlord goes to... Yeah, they're saving Boseiju, but if they want to Boseiju, like our tapped Power Stone here, we are so okay with that. All right, let's just put this Opus in the graveyard. Leave up removal spell for all their stuff. Yeah, let's get this Opus in the graveyard. No, we just find a Creativity? And this isn't legendary, right? No. Are we just Gearhulking? I think... Let's play this on red. No, we can't Gearhulk plus leave up interaction. So let's play it safe. Pass one more turn. They're likely just going for Chariot here. So we can counter this Chariot. And we could make another clue. All right, opponent has a Formidable Speaker. Yeah, let's just go 3 steps ahead. Counter target spell, draw 2, discard 2. Wow, huge shout out to 3 steps ahead. It's looked just absolutely crazy today. We draw another Opus. We can just discard second Opus here. They play Boseiju. They play Professor of Symbiology. They're learning. What are they learning for? All right, they learn for Decorum Dissertation. We play Stormcarve Coast. And I think we're just passing here. Torrential Gearhulk just wins combat against everything right now, and we can counter the Decorum Dissertation. If we have to take 7 because they attack first, that's fine. Yep. So we take 7 here. Oh, that's right. So they can get Grease Fang back. Oh, they get back... Oh. I hate that. All right, we take 7. Oh, and they're just passing. Okay. We cast Torrential Gearhulk. We cast Magma Opus. We go 1 here. 3 to their face. Tap. Godless Shrine plus Temple Garden. 1 there. 3 to their face. Make an elemental. All right, we draw an Otawara. And Fiery Impulse. We can double Fiery Impulse this guy. All right, we attack for 9 here. And then... How do we beat this Voice of Victory? This guy is actually pretty annoying here. So we attack for... Oh, no, wait. Do we just have lethal? We attack for 9, put our opponent to 4, and double Vibrant Outburst? Yeah, I think that's just lethal. All right, let's not overcomplicate things. 3 damage, tap the Overlord. 3 damage, tap the Overlord. All right. We found the line. Sideboarding against Greasefang. They are on the Abzan version, and they are playing quite a few green cards. So let's go Aether Gusts in. Broadside Barrage kills Greasefang. It kills Overlord. Probably worth. It's 3 mana, though. This is a maybe. So Aether Gust doesn't answer Greasefang, it answers everything else. We can trim the fiery impulses. And we can actually go down, change the... Well, let's see. So this counters their green cards. Vibrant Outburst kills just Greasefang, but they have a lot of 4 toughness stuff. So let's trim our things that don't kill 4 toughness creatures. And maybe it's just 1 Broadside Barrage. Maybe let's go 2 Aether Gust, 2 Barrages, to make sure that we always have something to kill Greasefang with. All right, we are on the draw. Being on the draw against Greasefang, always scary. All right, this hand, we're going to keep it. It's a little bit slow. If they just have the combo on turn 3, we're probably going to get got, but anything else and these Stern Lessons can just power us into Gearhulks, and then we can pretty easily outgrind them. All right, opponent. Do they have a way to put Parhelion into the graveyard? Nope, they draw Duress. Are they taking our Fiery Impulse? They take the Change the Equation. All right, we draw second Fiery Impulse. We need 3rd land. All right, just an Overlord. They get a Greasefang back. We have the answer to Greasefang, though. We don't draw 3rd land. Well, this hand looks a lot worse without 3 lands. Opponent casts a Formidable Speaker. They discard. Do they discard Parhelion? They discard a Parhelion. They get a Voice of Victory. Well, yeah, they just have the full combo. We draw a land, but if they go land, Voice of Victory, Greasefang, good beats. All right. Opponent has the full combo there. Looks like we'll be settling this in game 3. Are we changing anything now that we see the Voice of Victories? Yeah, I'm not... Let's go back up to more removal spells and cut the Aether Gusts. Click Submit. Not a lot you can do against Greasefang when they just have double Hand Hate spell into protected combo. All right, this hand is pretty good. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6 here. We have... I mean, they don't play any 1-drops, so not going to be killing anything here. So just play tap Steam Vents. Can we dodge a hand? Oh, nice. We dodge a Thoughtseize for the 3rd They don't have triple Thoughtseize. Let's see what they have here. Just a Witherbloom command. Resolves. This card has not looked great, notably. Play Pathway on blue. Opponent has a Formidable Speaker. We can just divide by 0 this. Let's grab. We're a ways away from Capstone. So just abandon attachments here. Yeah, let's just grab abandon attachments. Play the Steam Vents untapped and pass. Opponent replays Formidable Speaker. We will counterspell. Change the Equation is so good. All right, and we will cast this abandon attachments. Let's discard land. All right, nice. We potentially should have played this Valakut Awakening tapped so we could just hard cast a Gearhulk. All right, opponent has an Ashiok Dream Render. We can play around this pretty easily, though. We just let this resolve. They can minus. And then we... Yeah, this is fine. Let Ashiok resolve. They mill 4 cards here. Witherbloom command is a sorcerer, yes. And then end step, we discard Magma Opus to make a treasure. And let's get rid of this Fiery Impulse. All right, and we just find a land. Stop in their upkeep. All right, opponent is cash grabbing. Let's just guarantee that we get this Gearhulk into play. No, they shouldn't have any. They don't have any instant speedways to mess with us. So opponent cash grabs, gets a Formidable Speaker. We will Gearhulk. Flashback, Magma Opus. Kill the Ashiok. Tap their green source and one of their Orzhov lands. All right, get Ashiok off the battlefield. We can follow up with another Magma Opus next turn. We have a Fiery Impulse. All right, they just have a Chariot. Chariot is beatable. All right, they are passing. So we can Magma Opus, discard Creativity for 1, Magma Opus away these tokens and just put a ton of pressure onto them. Alternatively, nah, let's just be presenting lethal. They don't have a Parhelion. Target one of our tokens. We're leaving up Fiery Impulse too. All right, get back a Magma Opus. Opponent concedes. Let's go. Wow, feels nice to just completely smash Greasefang against Bard 91. And nice, we are on the play here with another great hand. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6. They're thinking about their 6. All right, start off with the Steam Vents tapped here. Notably, we are going to need to play this Pathway on red. play another Steam Vents or play a Steam Vents untapped this time. Delay this decision. Probably another Greasefang deck. All right, another Greasefang deck. They're on the fast combo version this time. Gonna be a little bit harder against this version of the deck, I think. They can threaten the combo a lot faster than the Abzan version. All right, cast a Deduce. Get our combo ready to go. Right, let's go Pathway on red. Just get 3 red mana, so if we draw an Indomitable Creativity, we're just ready to go. And pass the turn. We have an answer to Greasefang. We would like to just cast one of these Stern Lessons, though, this turn. All right, opponent just has a second Seasoned Hollowblade. That is fine. No Monument to Endurance is really nice here. Opponent is in the tank about something. All right, cast this Stern Lesson. If I discard this Magma Opus, see what we draw. All right, opponent is really thinking about this Stern Lesson. All right, yeah, discard this Magma Opus. And we are just set up to hardcast Gearhulk on the following turn. Oh, we just top deck a Creativity. Are we just casting Creativity this turn? Or we just divide by 0 one of these? Yeah, let's leave up our interaction. Steam Vents tapped this turn. We're not going to be double spelling. So Steam Vents tapped, pass the turn. We will take 6 here. Once the Gearhulks start hitting, the board will get clogged up super fast, and the Elementals can block these, Gearhulk can block these. All right, opponent just has another 1/3 discarder. But we're fine with this. We just go 1, 2, 3, and then they have to discard 3 cards to keep these things in play. All right, and they pass again. Just cast another Stern Lesson here. All right, we don't need second Creativity. So discard second Creativity. And pass the turn. With how they played last turn, they just went straight to combat. So I think they're going to do the same thing here. So yeah, they go straight to combat. Let them attack. All right, and now we Gearhulk. Gearhulk back, Magma Opus. Cast Magma Opus, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap both of their double lands. And if they want a Gaia Reach, that's fine. So now we're putting them in the position where they have to go empty-handed to not be dead here. Or, sorry, to save all their creatures. Right, so they have a Vanishing Verse, so potentially we're going... Well, this will leave combat if they decide to save it. Potentially going to... Well, no, we can block. Sorry, I forgot that we get a 4/4 too. All right, so opponent discards 2, lets Fleeting Spirit die. And now we block one of the Hollow Blades, go to 6. And we have an Elemental on the battlefield. Okay, we draw second Magma Opus. We are at 6 mana plus 2 Power Stones. No second Gearhulk. Let's just pass. Leave up these divide by zeros. And we can discard this Magma Opus on their turn too. Our opponent goes to attacks. And go to blocks. Discard or block a Hollow Blade. Opponent will discard to give it indestructible. Gets tapped. And let's return the other Hollow Blade to their hand. See if opponent concedes to this. Opponent concedes. All right. Against just Hollow Blade aggro, I think we're pretty good against that. We need to watch out for their enduring. What's the 3-mana artifact? Monument to Endurance draws. Fire Magic seems insane against their deck. 1 mana to make them discard 3 cards. Yeah, or Enduring Innocence is the 3-mana enchantment creature that has lifelink. Monument to Endurance is what we need to avoid. Let's go Fire Magic's in, Fiery Impulses out. Click Submit. Yeah, Fire Magic just 1 red, discard 3 cards. Please, opponent. Do it in their upkeep too, so it time walks them. All right, this hand, yikes. We have a Divide by Zero. We have a Stern Lesson. We'll give it a try. It's a little slow. We're relying quite a bit on this Divide by Zero. All right, the Divide by Zero plan is no longer a thing. This card's crazy. It got banned in Standard, didn't it? Back when the first Strixhaven was legal. With how strong a lot of the lessons are, this just feels like one of the... Okay, we draw another Verge. Play this tapped so we have blue mana available on turn 2. All right. Opponent goes Duress into Thoughtseize. Do they have another land? And they have another land. All right. Play a Verge. Divide by Zero is nice to find here. All right. And just nothing from them. So this is good for us that we're... Our hand was bad against a super fast draw from them, and they didn't have a super fast draw, so we're feeling better. Let's discard... Honestly, is it just Indomitable Creativity? I think it's just discard a Creativity. We have so much interaction and ability to go late game. Yeah, pass the turn. Our opponent passes again. Sorry, this is not a clue. Yeah, we'll just untap. All right, we draw another Creativity. Just play Silkenzon, pass again. We can just super easily leave up counter spells and eventually just cast our Lesson from the graveyard. Or from the sideboard. Yeah, just pass again. We win late game, so we're under no pressure here to play anything. We have a ton of counter spells up. Opponent plays a Guardian of New Benalia. Do we... I don't think we care about this. Let's just let this resolve. And then return it to their hand at the end of turn with Divide by Zero. Opponent gets a Parhelion into the graveyard, so very likely that they have a Greasefang in hand. Let's grab Abandon Attachments, discard Magma Opus. Get this Magma Opus into the graveyard. Hopefully we just find a land. All right, we find a land. And we find some pathways. Pass the turn again. I think it's very likely they have a Grease Fang here. Yep, so here's the Grease Fang. Grease Fang resolves. And, all right, kill Grease Fang. Tap Grease Fang. And we'll counter this Guardian of New Benalia. All right, opponent is not casting the Guardian of New Benalia. All right. Play another land. I would like to get more value out of this Sublime Epiphany, but I think we are... All right, opponent has a Recommission. Yeah, just counter draw. Man, I hate that. Now, let's just change the equation. Change the equation, the recommission. They have another Grease Fang. Just a Guardian of New Benalia. Okay, we can beat that. And let's force them to discard another card. We're just trading Fire Magic for one card here. All right, they had a Fleeting Spirit. And, all right, go to our turn. Man, we have just drawn only lands since we were in a pretty good position. I think we will now creativity for one. Get this last card out of their hand. Okay, opponent has a Containment Priest, but we can... Wow, Fire Magic being an instant is huge right here. All right, well, Fire Magic won the game. Let's go. All right, get a Gearhulk. There's no way we can... Wow. Interesting that they don't play to top deck a Grease Fang there, but we'll take it. Who's it of who cares? All right. What a name. This hand... We're going to keep it off the strength of Valakut Awakening, but this is definitely a brute. Yeah, it... All right, yeah. The idea of getting back Gearhulks with creativity has definitely been thought of before, but I don't think I've seen anybody else even trying anything remotely like this. But it's been feeling great. You invite more gear. I'm loving the... Okay. I want to see the rest of our opponent's deck. Yesterday I was thinking that putting Eye Twitch into our Kroxa deck would just be insane. Because it's another creature that wants to get sacrificed, and it gives us the ability to use Disrupt Decorum in the sideboard for the grindy matchups. Let's go Abandon Attachments here. Yeah, let's grab Abandon Attachments. Find an Otawara. Pass the turn. Are there any lessons that make a permanent to sack to creativity? All right, opponent replays the Fable. We don't have an answer to that. This can resolve. All right, take one again. Okay, oh, so this is just Rakdos Sacrifice. Just tested is a fair rule of thumb with that card. Yeah, I played a few matches last night with it, and it felt like promising enough. Oh, let's go. We just draw a artifact maker off the top, so we can untap and Gearhulk, wipe their board. Oh, and we can leave up a Fiery Impulse against something. All right, so play this Otawara creativity for 1. So, oh, wait, we don't have Magma Opus in the graveyard. We have Sublime Epiphany in the graveyard. So we return. Well, so we cast Sublime Epiphany, make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. All right, wait, this is not as good as I thought it was. I think it's still probably worth it. We return token to their hand with second Gearhulk, flashback divide or deduce. All right, I think it's still worth it to do. It's Magma Opus would be a lot better here. All right, we get Gearhulk back. Flashback Sublime Epiphany. Counter triggered ability. Okay, return non-land permanent, create a token, draw a card. Return token, create copy of Torrential Gearhulk, draw a card. They can sacrifice this to make a food, that's fine. They're not sacrificing the Eye Twitch then. All right. They make a food. We get a second Gearhulk. Let's go divide by 0. Return Fable of the Mirror Breaker to their hand. Or is it Witches Up? No, let's return Fable of the Mirror Breaker to their hand. Get Capstone this time. And past the turn, we have 10 power of Torrential Gearhulks on the battlefield. And we're 2 turns away from improvisation capstoning them. I have been loving this aspect of the deck. That not only are we a, like, is it Indomitable Creativity deck that can, ooh, opponent has a Mayhem Devil. We can answer that as well, and a Cauldron Familiar. So we will kill the Mayhem Devil. Nice to have this Fiery Impulse here. Yeah, but I love that we get to play this, like, Indomitable Creativity deck that can just get Torrential Gearhulk back, flashback Magma Opus, and opponent just concedes. But then in the late game, we can just grab this Capstone from our graveyard and grind out in the grindy matchups. I really like the iterations, like this iteration of this deck. It feels so much stronger than the last time I played it. All right, against food, Fire Magic's in. Aether? No, we don't need Aether Gust. Yeah, well, do we even need Fire Magic? It's probably worth it. Fire Magic in for 1 Fiery Impulse. And change the equation counters a lot of their stuff. Maybe one Vibrant Outburst. Being able to kill Mayhem Devil is important. Yeah, maybe let's just go one. No, we can go. This is fine. We still have 6 ways to kill Mayhem Devil. This can counter Mayhem Devil. My Boros could at least beat Food Dex today. That's crazy. What sideboard cards are you running to stop life gain? Because food seems really rough for... Hey, burn deck. All right, this hand is... I feel like I've said this like a ton of times today. The mana situation is awkward, but we have a lot of good cards here. So we go Mountain... Oh, Roiling Vortex. All right. They have the Unlicensed Hearse, and they're able to sneak it out under our counter spells. That's another aspect that the Capstone gives us, though, is we aren't just... Like, we don't just fold to Graveyard Hate. All right, counter this Fable. We're playing this Valakut Awakening. All right, we draw a Coast. We need to find it. We need to find a Divide by Zero that lets us get a Price of Freedom to target this Hearse with and get it off the battlefield. All right, they have another Fable. We don't have an answer to this one. So sure, that resolves. And Wear Tear to hit Ovens, but I can always send a Burst Lightning at Screaming to shut off. Oh, yeah, and yeah, Screaming Nemesis is very good. All right, let's... Are we just Valakut Awakening? All right, cast Valakut Awakening. Let's keep Fiery Impulse, but send everything else back. All right, nice. We find a Divide by Zero. And... All right, we find another Divide by Zero. All right, pass the turn. This lets us... We can Divide by Zero whatever they play on this turn and get Price of Freedom, blow up this Unlicensed Hearse. Man, the Learn package is just so strong. All right, they discard land, Blood Tithe Harvester. What are they playing here? Wear Tear, biggest issue is my 18-land deck kept Dude, when I was playing Mono Red, it was the exact same thing. The number of times that I would be hitting like land number 7 was it was too often. All right, opponent's going to attacks, kill Goblin Shaman. They didn't cast anything, so we're gonna... Oh, forgot about this. All right, they get a food. Play Blackleaf Cliffs tapped. End step, return this talent to their hand now that they've put the 2 mana into it. Get a Price of Freedom. All right, they can... This is your last Hearse activation, opponent. All right, and now get this Unlicensed Hearse off the battlefield. Leave up another Divide by Zero. And nice. We have a Fiery Impulse for this back half of the Fable. And we are in a... Okay, opponent has Legend of Roku here. We need to Divide by Zero this. And let's grab... We're 2 turns away from Capstone. But I don't think we want abandon attachments here. We have plenty of card draw. So yeah, we'll just take the capstone. All right, opponent passes. All right, opponent has a witch's oven. Cast a stern lesson. Draw creativity. We find a land. I think we're just discarding a creativity here. We could... discarding this second fiery impulse is a little bit risky. We're just to the point in the game that we're going to be casting capstone, and so we don't need the creativity anymore. All right, opponent, Legend of Roku's. That resolves. Don't love that, but see what they hit. Deadly Dispute, Witch's Oven, Yarga. Okay, so we need to find something to answer this Yarga. Opponent has a land from hand. Do they play Witch's Oven here? Okay, they get in for 2. Let's just force them to use this Deadly Dispute. Oh, they just Witch's Oven, so all right. I guess they have these foods to cast with the Deadly Dispute. Yarga is a 6/6. Man, this card's so annoying. Oh, we find it. Okay, we find it changed the equation. All right. Pass the turn for this turn because we need to change the equation, this Yarga. All right, they Deadly Dispute a food, draw 2, make a treasure. Wow, very... Legend of Roku into Deadly Dispute is really cool. All right, they Legend of Roku, probably making a black mana here, make a green. They cast Yarga, we will change the equation. Yarga, Yugra? Yugra? Not yeah, not sure. They replay Scavenger's Talent. Do they level up or... All right, they level up. And do they cash in treasure for second Witch's Oven? They cash in treasure for second Witch's Oven. Mill me. Come on. Ah. They mill themselves. No cats. And they pass. All right. Cast another Stern Lesson. Oh, nice. Okay, we find a Magma Opus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Yo, am I crazy for discarding Fiery Impulse here? Yeah, I think it is a little crazy. So 1, 2, let's discard the Magma Opus and crack the clue. If we find a land here, we can capstone plus leave up Fiery Impulse. Oh, we just find a Gearhulk. I want to get this capstone down though. But we could die. All right, let's be responsible and leave up our interaction for one more turn. Agra. Oh, that makes sense. Yegra. Okay, they Deadly Dispute their other food. Opponent, mill me, please. Oh, they find a cat. As an X, so Agra. All right, tap in a Blood Crypt. Okay, they have. Oh, eek, so like Egra, like Yegra, seek, yeah, Yegra. Okay. All right, they cast Cauldron Familiar. Are we? No, we're not changing. We're not changing the equationing this. Sorry, I promise I speak English. There's just sometimes with this language that oh, okay, so they have a scavenger's town. This is a lot of foods, but I think Gearhulk into Opus can still overpower a lot of this. We're still at 19. All right. Scavenger's talent, that's probably. So we Gearhulk for. Yeah, so cast Gearhulk. On. I think we have to divide by 0 this. Yeah. Gearhulk for divide by 0. And return it to their hand. Get Iros. Get Iros. Fizzle that. If they replay talent, that's fine. If they play a Witch's Oven, they going to attacks and they're passing. All right. Cast this Deduce. English is a garbage. I feel that. All right, we find a land. Let's go Iros on this Roku. Kill the Roku. They're going to cash it in for a food. We found another Gearhulk, so I think we're leaving this up again. All right, Iroh is down. They have a ton of foods. We don't have a great answer to them leveling up the Scavenger's talent right now. All right, opponent, yeah, they get to chump block with the Cauldron Familiar. They can drain us for 3 every turn and bring 2 cats back. We are able to Gearhulk. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can Gearhulk plus change the equation this turn. These Witch's Ovens, we have no way to answer them at the moment. And they can get back Yarga. Okay. Oh, all right. So they hard cast a Yarga. This is really good for us. Change the equation. Counter this. All right, that's nice. All right. Level up Scavenger's talent. They go to attacks. They attack with the cat. We will bite with the Gearhulk. And now we get to Magma Opus. 4 to our opponent. Tap the Witch's Ovens to force them to do their nonsense right now. I've learned from other languages how English is boring, needlessly confusing, and depending on which dictionary you prefer, varying slightly, just annoyingly so. Love it though, love our garbage. Well, I went kind of not super deep, but yeah, I was like looking into the history of English one day and just how like it really is just an amalgamation of just all these other languages. And I think it's like if you want to be more formal in English, then you use like the Germanic side of the language, but then like the more casual phrases tend towards the Romance parts that English stole. Yeah, it's ridiculous. All of it is just ridiculous. We drew a 3 steps ahead here, so we're again not casting this capstone. Our opponent has started to mill us with the mills, which we're pretty fine with. So they get a Cauldron Familiar. We're going to kill this and just do 13 damage to them. Yeah, we still have plenty of cards, I think. So we're... Oh, they have another cat? How many? Oh, how many? They have so many foods. Okay. Oh, are we actually... Are we just getting milled out here? Okay, so we... Sorry, we do 3 to them and tap Cauldron Familiar. I majored in psychology and English. Everything is made up. We can just do things. Yeah. Wait, so we actually have a super crazy line here. So they bring back another cat. Have they milled our... Was this the game that we cast? No, so they haven't milled our Sublime Epiphany yet. But this is fine. So now we 3 steps ahead, make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. Yeah. Make a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. Do 4 damage to them. Tap Cauldron Familiar. Tap, tap. Oh, I think they go... Ah, they can sack a food, though. I don't think this is enough, actually, because they go to 11, then they go to 14. Oh, yeah, they go to 1. Oh, they're deadly disputing. Yeah, I think we're actually getting milled out here. All right, well, we don't have anything else. Oh, yeah, now they get the cat back to block. Okay. Wow. Super crazy game. They... Hitting all of the cats was very good for them. Are we changing anything for game number 3? I don't think so. This is... Yeah, they had started from last turn. They had started targeting us with all of the mills. And they got through all our cards. It took us too long to find Magma Opuses that game. I don't think Aether Gust is worth it. It only hits Yarga. Not having any graveyard hate is rough. I wonder if I just shouldn't have cared about the unlicensed hearse so much. All right, this hand, it's a little bit awkward with double Stormcarved Coast, but we have draw spells, we have a Magma Opus. Opponent has Cauldron Familiar. Play a land here. Potentially just discarding this Magma Opus this turn. Opponent gets in for 1. And opponent plays a Blood Tithe Harvester. Sure, let's just deduce. We can discard Magma Opus to Stern Lesson. All right. We do need to find a land. I think we're taking 4 here. Yeah, we're taking 4. And what's our opponent's follow-up? Just nothing. All right. Cast a Stern Lesson. Okay, we find a land. Discard 1. Are we discarding Magma Opus or Sublime Epiphany? Let's get an Opus in the graveyard. This is a lot easier to hardcast. All right. Play the Verge. Pass the turn again. Yeah, because we're still 1 mana away from hardcasting Gearhulk. So this turn we will Vibrant Outburst the Blood Tithe Harvester. Oh, they Deadly Dispute. All right, yeah, so we will kill Harvester, tap Cauldron Familiar. We have to be somewhat aware of our life total. Opponent is just slamming a Legend of Roku. Oh boy. Yarga plus double Witch's Oven. What a crazy Legend of Roku from our opponent. Let's discard this Magma Opus. This way we can Gearhulk on our turn. Okay, we don't find a land. Kind of don't love that. We have to cash in our treasure to Gearhulk. Alternatively, we creativity X equals 2 and put 2 Gearhulks into play. So if we do that, next turn they just play Yarga. But they don't have the combo, right? This takes... They need a second cat? Nah, but that's too risky. Let's leave Upchange the equation to counter this Yarga. And then next turn we can just slam double Gearhulk. Yeah, so change the equation Yarga. They get a Witch's Oven now. But Witch's Oven is beatable. Or, my gosh. Ygra. We just talked about this. Ygra. Ygra. Alright, take another 1. And we will... So we crack the Clue here. It's a little bit risky. So if we crack Clue and find a land, we're good. If we crack the Clue and we don't find a land, we can't double Gearhulk. So let's play it safe. All right. Target Clue. Target Power Stone. Get 2 Torrential Gearhulks into play. Hit them for 8. All right. Magma Opus. And Magma Opus. 4 to them. Tap the Witch's Oven. Force them to do the cat stuff now. We're putting them to 9. They are dead next turn. If they have exactly Ygra plus... All right, and now we can Does killing the cat do anything here? It puts it in the graveyard. Yeah, so they would... Alright, we'll kill the cat, sure. And yeah, doesn't matter what we tap here. 1 to the cat, 3 to them. Play a Verge for turn. Pass a turn. We should be able to win next turn. Yarga land cat beats us, I think. I never know with food. Alright, opponent is just on a second Legend of Roku. They're just dead to this, right? They have land, Deadly Dispute, land. So they play land for turn. Oh, Blood Tithe Harvester. Have they played land this turn? Yes, they have. So they are passing. Force the action now. Kill the Blood Tithe Harvester. So they can sack the Harvester, get the cat back. Okay, so they are at 12. We need 3 creatures to go through. This is not flipping next turn. So we play Steam Vents untapped. We attack with all. They have to chump. Or no, they trade here. Chump Gearhulk. Go to 3/4. We can use Fire Magic to kill the cat before blocks. They have only 1 food. We can we can Sublime Epiphany. Oh, let's go. Really cool line here. So we get to Sublime Epiphany, counter the Cauldron Familiar coming back, return Legend of Roku to their hand. All right. Attack with everything. They will sack the food. And now we get to counter target activated ability, return Legend of Roku, create a copy of Torrential Gearhulk, draw a card. So return Legend of Roku to their hand, create a copy of Torrential Gearhulk, draw a card. Opponent concedes. Let's go. Sublime Epiphany looking insane there. All